Thank you for joining FinTech Startups Opportunity hosted by Invest India and Fukuoka City Global Finance Center. I'm Akiko from Fukuoka City Global Finance Center, today's MC. And we have Mumu, the directors of Global Finance Center, and Shun at the Global Finance Center base. Before we start the event, I'd like to ask two things. Please keep your microphone mute and turn off the video during the event. And please check the chat box. We will post a link for the feedback form of today's event, so please fill it in before you leave. Feel free to use the chat box to ask any questions during the event. The only we ask is please put the word question at the beginning of your inquiry in the message and before sharing it. Also, this chat box can be used for networking. So if you want to PR your project to all the participants, please put PR on the top of your message. If you're interested in certain PR message, please communicate directly to the party you are interested in. Let's welcome Ms. Mona Kandahar, Minister, Economy and Commerce, Embassy of India, Tokyo, for opening remarks.
Thank you, and konnichiwa and namaste to the participants joining from India and Japan. This is a second event with Invest India and Startup India, and second in row for FinTech. Earlier, we had one FinTech event with Gift City from India. So it's very heartening, as always, to join again with Fukuoka City Government, an initiative led by Global Financial Center Fukuoka. So I would just like to make some important opening remarks. Today, two FinTech from India and one from Fukuoka, they are pitching live. And the one of the two FinTech from India, which is XPay Life Private Limited. That is mainly that has dealt with the problem of financial inclusion and digitization or making digital payment in rural India. So which is very important because the people in rural India, they have the accessibility problem, and the financial inclusion also mostly needs to take place in India, in the rural area. So this is something very important solution to some of the problems being faced in the rural area of India. And I'm sure even in country like Japan, in the countryside, there are some challenges of financial inclusion, and this FinTech will be might be helpful in this regard. And the another FinTech of KPay Innovation Private Limited also has focused on the issue of making digitization more accessible and more affordable, and thereby promoting financial inclusion. So I look forward to see the presentation or live pitching from this to FinTech, and also the one pitching from Fukuoka GFC side. I would just briefly like to mention that Government of India gives a lot of support through the two umbrella program of Digital India and Startup India. So Digital India is an umbrella program to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy, and prepare India also for knowledge future. And focus is to make technology central to enabling change management of the vast population, especially the young population of India. And there are three key areas, namely the first being digital infrastructure as a utility to every citizen. So provide accessibility to digital infrastructure as a utility to every citizen, and governance and services on demand by providing online services and digital empowerment of citizens. So these three are the key categories of Digital India. So digital infrastructure includes high-speed internet as a core utility and digital identity. Mobile phone and bank account, also known as Jam Trinity in India, and citizen-centric civic service centers also being set up to provide online services to citizens. And public cloud facilities and safe and secure cyberspace also falls within the category of digital infrastructure. Governance and services are envisioned as seamlessly integrated and available on real-time basis to all the citizens, especially to ensure that all the entitlements to the citizens are provided on real-time basis and available on cloud, and also electronic and cashless financial transactions and leveraging GIS for decision support system and development. So these are the three main components of Digital India. And within this, Startup India is also Government of India's flagship initiative to build startup and nurture innovation. And through this initiative, government plans to empower startup ventures to boost entrepreneurship, economic growth, and employment across India. And government's action plan also helps to accelerate growth of startups throughout India and across all important sectors. So now we are seeing the new startups coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which used to come earlier from only tier 1 cities. And it also includes semi-urban and rural areas now, and includes promoting entrepreneurship among the classes that need some support, and also women communities. And the action plan there is a very well laid action plan, and Invest India is the nodal agency to implement that along in the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So with this initial remarks, I would like to hand over again to Global Financial Center of Fukuoka. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mona-san, for your opening remark. Thank you so much. Okay, let me start with sharing today's agenda. So firstly, we'll explain general information of Fukuoka City Global Startup Global Finance Center, and Tamago Finance will have a session. After that, Invest India gives us their introduction and pitching section of Indian side for us. Today, we'll welcome KPay Innovation and XPay Life. They'll have 15 minutes, 10 minutes to pitch, and 5 minutes for Q&A session. So I would like to start with introduction of Global Finance Center. So Fukuoka is now becoming one of the most famous startup cities in Japan. Some of you might already know us well as Global Startup Center, but today I would like to introduce ourselves as Global Finance Center. Fukuoka City was nominated by the Japanese government as the candidate city of the next global financial hub in Japan. Soon after the nomination, Fukuoka City formed Team Fukuoka in September 2020 and Global Finance Center 1 month later in October 2020. Team Fukuoka is a partnership between industry, academia, and municipalities aiming to attract international financial institutions to Fukuoka City. Fukuoka's 7 main merged corporations and Kyushu University are members of the Team Fukuoka. Global Finance Center is the contact window and executive support team for your project. We work as a part of your team. Even though you are willing to start your project in Japan, you may not know whom you should talk to, so do not hesitate to contact us, Global Finance Center. We are happy to assist you. Our services are very wide range, available at relevant at any stage of your business, as you can see. We support your startup visa application. After arriving at Fukuoka, we have meeting every month to solve any problems you will face. These days, it's been said that it's getting more and more difficult to open bank accounts for both individuals and corporations in Japan. However, we have a good relationship with local banks, so we can manage to support your fintech to open bank accounts without any issue. We also offer our unique business matching services. According to your expectations, we will try to find your potential partners in our network, and we propose the best way of the collaboration for both parties. These business matching services are available for any stage of your business. Even though you're in India, you don't have a company in Fukuoka, Japan, our business matching services are available. When you implement financial projects at foreign market, complying with regulation is very important, which can be very complicated. However, we have a lawyer in our Global Finance Center team who is a specialist in the financial sector, whom can support you with professional insight. Now, some of you may be wondering why Fukuoka? What is the advantage starting with Fukuoka? We should say these are our advantages: safety, quality of life, existing startup ecosystem, and POC. Fukuoka is the only major city located in the Japan seaside, and we have less earthquakes. For example, that's why we already have some data centers of Tokyo-based big enterprises. In short, Fukuoka has a lower risk of natural disasters, unlike other big cities like Tokyo and Osaka. Compared to other big cities like Osaka and Tokyo, Fukuoka is smaller, but this is a big advantage of us. It's not crowded, less competitive, and the living cost there is more affordable and reasonable. We also have strong communities. Once you get into the community, it's easier to make new network connections. Fukuoka City is surrounded by rich nature and mountains and beaches, are very close from the city center. So we believe our city will be a perfect place for middle and back offices and remote workers. Our existing startup ecosystem is another great advantage of Fukuoka City. Fukuoka City declared itself to become a startup city in 2012, and we are known as one of the most famous startup cities in Japan now. We have a special visa for entrepreneurs called the Startup Visa. Startup Visa provides you at least 6 months to 1 year period to prepare and do market research and before you invest and start your business here in Japan. Fukuoka City has a project that supports proof of concept POC in the city. As you can see, the movement of Team Fukuoka, public and private sectors are working closely here. For example, Fukuoka Financial Group introduced the first digital bank at the local prefecture bank in Japan. It's natural to have digital banks for mega banks these days. However, starting a completely new business as a local bank is very challenging. But Fukuoka has the environment that encourages to start something new. That's why the first digital local bank has emerged from this city. You can see Fukuoka has the atmosphere to support the willingness to try something new, accept and adapt the changes. In essence, Fukuoka is innovation. Victory Asset Management Japan was established in Fukuoka in February 2020 as the subsidiary of Victory Securities Holdings in Hong Kong. We at the Global Finance Center are supporting the expansion of their business in the Japanese market. They are now applying for the Type 2 financial instrument business license. One of their business is to sell securities of foreign funds, including their parent company, to the Japanese investors. To do so, they need to get the license of Type 1 financial instrument business. It is very delicate and difficult to get the Type 1 licenses. Moreover, most business activities of Victory Asset Management Japan could be conducted under Type 2 license. That's why we at the Global Finance Center considered a few strategies to make this scheme possible by researching and consulting with our in-house lawyers specialized in finance, and ultimately offered our solution to the Victory Asset Management Japan and Victory Security Holdings. We support and propose the most realistic and quickest way to start your business here in Fukuoka. Fukuoka City is the place that you can start easy. Global Finance Center is always happy to assist you. So if you are interested in starting business in Fukuoka, please do not hesitate to contact us. So now I would like to welcome Pisu from Tamago Finance.
Hi. Good afternoon from here. Actually, let me share the screen first.
Sure.
No, I cannot share the screen.
Yeah. So, okay, now I think you can share.
So let me make it full screen. Oh, all right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. So my name is Pisut. I am Thai, but right now I'm in Thailand. Actually, I'm based in Fukuoka, but just back to Thailand for about a week to be a speaker on another local event in here, and also need to visit our partners and our customers in Thailand. So yeah, so for Tamago Finance, and yeah, let's talk a bit about the agenda I want to share on these presentations. First, I will introduce what is Tamago Finance, what we are doing, and second, because right now we are focused on NFT, cryptocurrency NFT, and I will talk a bit about the how we can invest NFT as the alternative investments compared to invest in stock or any other assets. Third, yeah, I will talk a bit about the ecosystem in Japan, but I will did my best because I was living in Japan for about 3 months, and yeah, went to a couple of meetup and conference, and this is just my summarize on what I saw. And the last one we talked about how life in Fukuoka and how the supports from GSC and GFC team. Yeah, I think they are the same entities. So yeah, let's start on what we are doing. For Tamago Finance, at the very beginning, yeah, we named Tamago Finance because we were the software house. We help other company make crypto application. Yeah, in our industry, we call DeFi or decentralized finance applications. And yeah, we have like a couple of them make the platforms. And later on, yeah, we decide to maybe good time to make our own platforms and all services. And yeah, so and later it become what we are doing right now. We helping individuals and organizations to tokenize ETH or intellectual property into NFT. And on the right hand side, uh, there is one project that we help them issue the NFT named Maodao. Actually, they are from China. They are we help them issue the NFT for about 5,000 NFT. We help them successfully launch the project, and become one of the famous NFT project in China. And on the next one, we will help another creator to launch the the NFT collection named Bin. She's a Thai artist, and yeah, it will be the NFT will be polarized quite soon. And for Tamako Finance, why the creator need to come to us? Because we provide the marketing support for them. And because we are a team of engineers, we can help them developing the smart contract and then deploy to any published blockchain they want, including Line blockchains, Polygon blockchains, or whatever. And the last one, we also provide 2D to 3D conversion service in order for your NFT to be utilized or participate in the metaverse platform, right? Because of most of the NFT projects are made in 2D, and yeah, I'm not sure like how 2D image is going to be look like on the 3D metaverse. So yeah, you need to convert it to 3D, and we have the service to help you. And later on, we have the portals in order to let yours users to swap the 2D NFT to 3D NFTs. And yeah, another point we want to mention, we have a couple of products live on mainnets. We have Launchpads, we have NFT marketplace, we have community engagement to help the NFT creators to engage with their users. And the unique advantage of our project that for our marketplace and Launchpads, we allow the NFT to be sold with more than one token. The creator can access the payment from the stablecoin that the price is stable, as opposed to any other crypto that the price is not stable and too volatile. And we have 10 team members, most of them based in Bangkok, and there is one based in Japan with me, but yeah, right now I'm in Bangkok. And we have 2 in Taiwan, and we have another one in India named Risha. I think he is also in this meetup, in this call too. And yeah, we got a couple of awards earlier. Last year, we were selected by accelerators in New York to join their programs, and we got the first prize for Metaverse Hackathon organized by SCBs, which is Bank in Thailand, and Sandbox, Q5, and Metaplace. Those are the famous crypto projects. And yeah, so the pain point, because of around like 1,000 NFT create every day, but only 50 NFT collections can be sold, and less than 20 NFT can be survived after 1 month. The chance is quite low, like for the ordinary creators to launch the project. But for teaming with Tamako Finance, we allow tip creators or any digital artists to have more chance to be success, and as well as we provide the support in order to open opportunities in the NFT space, like in the metaverse. For about NFT as the alternative investments, right? And why investor need to choose NFT to invest, not the stock, not the bond. So why you invest on like the image of the market, right? So the first one, because of NFT is actually backed by the blockchains, and when unlike any other assets, the ownership resolutions, it need to be relied by the third party, like the lawyer or the government, right? But for the NFT, for the resolution, it's going to be use blockchain in order to resource who is the ownership of these assets, and it actually no cost to find who is the right owner of this NFT. And second one is the ETH. ETH mean if you are the investor, you want to invest on the studios that produce the movies or the cartoon you love, you invest on them, right? But in realities, when you invest on them, you can own only share of the companies. You never own the IP or ETH that produced by the companies. The ETH still belong to the studios, right? But for the NFT, if the ETH are tokenized into NFTs, and the studios sells the characters to you, right? And you own the NFT, which means you actually the full owners of that cartoons. And later on, if your cartoons have a chance to get more revenues, revenue will come to you, not the studios. And this last one is about the transparencies. Everything is happening on public blockchains. Everyone in the world can come to see and check who is the owners, what is happening for this NFT. And yeah, so when we talk about the ecosystem in Japan, so yeah, I just like put the form the co-founder of the Sandbox. Sandbox is actually the most popular metaverse project in the world right now, and he spoke on the conference in Tokyo on last 2 weeks. He used to say the Japan gaming cultures inspire them and everyone in the industry to build the metaverse that is open and connects people virtually, which means games or I think in India, so yeah, I think many people also like have been playing the Japanese games. It actually inspire the developers to build the metaverse that we open. And in Japan, we have around like 3,000 creators. And yeah, if you look into the top NFT marketplace, 3 from top trading NFTs collections worldwide are made by artists based in Japan. Even the most popular move to earn platforms named StepN. You can search for StepN. It's quite famous. There are projects like you can do exercise to earn, but you need to buy the NFT, like NFT that represent your sport shoes. You buy it, and then when you exercise it, you will earn some money. They are based in Tokyo, and for the NFT that mean from Japan, right? There are more than million NFT have been minted from the NFT issuer platforms like Minto, Konego, and yeah, Tamago Finance. We want to be an NFT issuer platform as well, but we are quite beginning. We are looking for the artist to come to us and issue the NFT for them. And yeah, there are a number of the metaverse project being built by startup and even from the famous game studios like Square in Japan. And this is the picture that I took. Yeah, so yeah, kind of like I went to a couple of blockchain conference and meetups. It seemed like every road toward to the metaverse. In Japan, no one talking about the DeFi anymore. That's quite surprise for me. But everyone talking about the NFT, metaverse, and so on. And so we choose Fukuoka. How about the GFC, GFC, right? Why we choose Fukuoka? Because of if you are running the startup, right? At some point, you may come or relocate to the startup hub like the US, UK, and Singapore for the better connections, for finding new partners, and most importantly, for higher valuation for your startups. And the Fukuoka cost of living in Fukuoka. So I try to compare with Bangkok that I was living for my entire life. So the apartment is the same. Before I moved to Fukuoka, apartment here is about like $400 per month. But in Fukuoka it's a little bit higher, but it has the same space that I used to live in Bangkok. And but for the others, they are more the same, like the internet, food, mobile, they are the same to Bangkok. And Fukuoka is actually located in strategic location. You can fly to Seoul, Tokyo, Taipei for 1 or 2 hours, and the cost is not much high. Even I can fly back to Bangkok for $200 per trip. And for the GSC and GFC, there are the agencies that can be a single point of contact if you want to move your startups or expand your business in Japan. That the single point of contact. They help you finding the apartments. They help you find the lawyers. They help you to prepare any documentation necessary before the arrivals. And the most important thing is that they help you open the bank account in Japan, which is not easy for the foreigners. And connect with like the local startups across Asia and in Japan. And they are fully active, in my opinion, 100% care and support to your startups. And I feel feel much better that they are supporting me and my startups because living in Japan is not easy. They're giving a high level guidance, recommendations about what I need to be doing and what kind of document I need to be obtaining, like the ID card, like how I can obtain the house registrations, income. Because in Japan they not use the signature. You need to have the income or seal in order to sign some documents. And they also give you a feedback about your business. This is quite hard because of when I was in Thailand, sometimes I cannot get like the feedback. People like keep saying, your startup is good, something like that, but it doesn't.
Thank you, Pieces. Sorry for interrupting. And we would like to hear more about your comments for Global Startup Center and Global Finance Center. However, because of the time, we have to go.
All right, okay.
Program.
All right, okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you so much. Okay, so I would like to welcome Nikita from Invest India.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I would also like to thank everybody for joining today, Mona ma'am, for her constant guidance, support on all of our initiatives, the team at Fukuoka City Government, GSC, for facilitating this so wonderfully and bringing everyone to the same platform. I would just like to request, okay, I think I have sharing rights. Just one moment. I hope my screen is visible. Great. So I would like to give you a quick introduction of what we do here at Invest India and Startup India, and what the growth of our ecosystem has been in the past few years, which, as you may already know and have seen, has been a large number of initiatives and a large number of startups as well coming up across the geography. So when we started out, we actually came up with an action plan, which was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and it was based on 3 simple pillars. One was on simplification and hand-holding for any processes, any regulatory landscapes for startups. The second was on any funding support and incentives that a startup may want to avail of during its journey. And third was the industry academia partnership, which became absolutely essential as startups looked at various avenues to scale their operations and become larger within this ecosystem as well. This is where we stand currently with respect to the expansion. We are the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world now in India. We have over 73,000 startups that have been recognized with the government of India, and that is rapidly increasing by the day. We also, of course, there are startups and big businesses coming in from the tier 1 cities across the country. We also have 45% of them coming in from tier 2 and tier 3 locations. As far as the average of jobs goes, we have about 11 jobs per startup that is being created within the country. And that was a major objective here, to become a country of job creators as opposed to job seekers. And the Startup India Hub, which is, a one-stop platform, a single window where you can come in for all of your queries, all of your tools and templates that you may need as you're scaling your company, is, we have about 573K users on this platform. This is the journey so far. We have an increase in startups, unicorns, investors. We've seen the funding rising, with a lot of scale. And we have states across the country that have gone from a number of 4 to 31 having startup policies dedicated to the growth. And this total number in India is actually 36. So we have a few to go before we cover the entire expanse of the nation. We have identified during our time here with a few opportunity sectors. We see that artificial intelligence, the space economy, clean mobility spaces, and green energy are rapidly growing across the country. And for any startups that are looking to explore India as a market, these are some of the sectors that have been booming. We do have others as well across deep tech, ed tech, media, enterprise tech, and of course, health tech with COVID has definitely taken over as well. We have seen, an increase in the number of startups. We've seen a large evolution in every minute. We've seen funding in, the numbers you see on your screen right now. And we've seen that these are the cities. Delhi, Bangalore, and Bombay are actually raising funding every 9 hours. We have women entrepreneurs coming up with this much amount of funding, and this scale and scope is extremely large to bring in entities from across the world to actually place this as a global ecosystem. These are just a few funding highlights that we have. It's been in news expansively as well in terms of the number of IPOs that have been undertaken across the country. We've had 108 mega deals in simply 2021, and that number is also much larger if you look at the entire 10-year duration of India. We've seen sovereign funds have actually entered the landscape in India and kind of made this their playing ground as well in terms of the kind of entities that they can reach out to. Indian unicorns today, this number actually just between the past couple of weeks has increased and become 105 now. And in simply 2022, we've seen over 40 unicorns actually arise out of the Indian landscape. So that influx of funding, that growth of innovation, that constant entrepreneurial spirit is, very much alive across the borders. We do interact with state governments. As I mentioned, we are still, we have 31 states that have policies which are typically for anything ranging from incubation to funding, whether, there's some kind of laws on procurement, anything we can ease for a startup's journey as we proceed is something that we look at when we engage with our states across the country as well. When it comes to understanding what is a startup in India, we look at these 4 factors. One is the kind of entity that they are. One is that they're 10 years from the date of their incorporation. They mustn't have exceeded a certain amount of revenue in any fiscal year, and they should be innovative, scalable, creating jobs and wealth at the same time. As I mentioned, the Startup India Hub has all of these resources at your disposal. We also have pro bono partnered services that may be relevant to any startups looking to scale their solutions and need some pro bono support to just begin with. We have learning and development programs which can become a launchpad for multiple entrepreneurs who are simply setting up an idea or trying to see what to do next. We have a virtual showcase wherein you can see the kind of great innovations that are coming out of various parts of the country, and of course the schemes and policies that can actually assist various startups in their growth journey as they expand. We have multiple funding tools as well from the government side. One is the Fund of Funds, which is a large corpus which goes from our department, DPIIT, to startups by virtue of alternate investment funds. And we also have a seed fund which focuses more on the early stage entrepreneurs that may want to look at a grant-based system. So this is run through our incubation network. Corporate partnerships is also a big part of the kind of collaboration and cooperation we're trying to build here. We do, we actively collaborate with corporates that may be scouting innovative solutions for the market, for their specific market. This also applies to any kind of global collaborations that we may have, wherein, another entity or another, country's government may be seeking certain solutions that India would have the best kind of foot forward for as well. These are some case studies that we have based on the kind of corporate engagements we've undertaken. One of the WhatsApp Grand Challenges was focused on these 5 sectors: healthcare, rural economy, citizen safety, education, and financial and digital inclusion. And as a result of all of these programs and challenges, we also incentivize the ecosystem by providing some kind of fiscal benefit. So here that was $250,000 that was given to 5 winners. Similarly, we do implement this across different corporates. This is the international market access that actually, we like to kind of call our growing kind of initiative as well. We have 15 plus international bridges at this point in time, and we host various different engagements with different countries. So, with Japan specifically, with GFC, the thing we're building here where we have entities come in and present their solutions. That's another showcase opportunity that is provided through this collaboration. And we also have pitching sessions which are hosted for, in the previous series, about 100 plus startups in collaboration with the Embassy of India in Tokyo. Similarly, we will, do an analysis and an evaluation of the ecosystem that we're operating in the US. We host a mentorship event with the Strategic Partnership Forum in the Netherlands. We work with the cybersecurity mission and look at what solutions can actually help them build their landscape. With Sweden, we have worked on a healthcare challenge, multiple mentor connects, where we'll get expert mentors to actually come and talk to the entrepreneurs that are seeking some kind of guidance in their journey as well. So, this is just simply about Japan. The two, our honorable prime ministers of both countries had launched the information bridge between the two countries. And we have, of course, initially we had a more niche focus area as well in terms of the kind of sectors we were looking at. But now that has expanded widely, and we do have dedicated kind of pages as well, or microsites as well on our platform that you can come and view for any resources that you may need in terms of understanding what is the ease of expansion, what is the globalized market opportunity, how is it that we can also kind of support you in that journey. These are some of the marquee events that we've hosted over the past few years. In India, we've had participation from the Japanese ecosystem. We've had participation from multiple global stakeholders and industry members that have come in and either guided startups or gone to various districts in the country to disseminate knowledge. And the Innovation Week is something we hosted most recently in January, where we had all of our industry stakeholders and global partners come forth and present their solutions. We would encourage you, in case there's anything that we can help you with, to reach out to us, to visit our portal, the Startup India Hub, and we would be happy to see how is it that we can collaborate and look at further opportunities as well. How is it that the government, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade can help assist you in your journey whether you are a startup coming in from Japan to India, or you're an Indian startup looking to expand to Japan. That is something that, we hope that collaboratively we can work together and see what we do. Thank you so much, and reach out for any questions.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on to the pitching section. So I would like to welcome KP.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hello.
Can I start?
Sure.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
1 second. Sorry, one minute. Okay, you can see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Hello and konnichiwa to everyone. I am Ravi Pitti, co-founder and CEO of KPay. KPay is an embedded fintech pay-as-you-go technology. KPay licenses the technology to manufacturers, enabling them to seamlessly integrate creative forms of payment, credit, etc. into their products, and use the pay-as-you-go model to convert the upfront price barrier of the product into small and flexible payments. KPay's technology consists of a firmware and software component. The firmware is our proprietary algorithms or coding that are inputted into the existing hardware or PCB of these devices. Our software platform can then send instructions to this device by way of codes that allow the device to run for a particular amount of time, and also to receive data of usage patterns and behavior. We have identified 4 problem areas. 1, there are over 1 billion people in the bottom of the pyramid segment across the developing world with aspirations to own a TV or a lighting system or a water purifier, but they can't afford to pay for these upfront. There are also lenders willing to provide loans to this market segment, but they don't have adequate safeguards to protect their investments. Consumer behavior is also now changing. People now want to pay for the service rather than the product itself. And manufacturers need an easy-to-adopt technology solution to increase their sales through the as-a-service business model. So this is where KPay comes in. A KPay integrated device can be offered to the customer on a pay-as-you-go or as-a-service business model, allowing the upfront price barrier to be broken up into small sachet payments. Manufacturers can use the technology platform to expand their customer base. The platform delivers substantial value for all stakeholders, whether it is the manufacturers, the dealers, the finance companies, and of course, the final user or consumer. KPay's technology switches off the device if payments are not made. That is denial of benefits, making it safer for lenders to finance such products. KPay's technology is hardware agnostic and tamper-proof. It can work even without internet and smartphone. In fact, it works in the offline modes as well as GSM and IoT modes. We offer pay-per-use, pay-per-time, and pay-per-amp payment options. And it is flexible for integration with digital payment gateways around the world. We have divided use cases of KPay into 4 verticals. One is asset ownership, where a customer pays small incremental amounts till such time that the device cost is paid off, which is a buy now, pay later kind of scheme. Then as a service, where the customer pays for the service but doesn't get to own the product. Sharing of assets, such as in community drinking water dispensers or EV charging infrastructure and so on. And enabling access, such as in smart public toilets, smart parking meters, battery swapping stations, and smart meters. We have integrated our technology for a range of products and applications as shown here. Currently, there's a lot of interest in mobility with electric vehicles and EV charging infrastructure using KPay's technology. I have covered some of these technology highlights, but just to add to it, the fact that our technology can work offline without internet and smartphone makes it very flexible for business owners to operate in any geography, especially for rural parts of the developing world. We are focusing strongly on building our AI-based data analytics and credit ratings, and also adding features based on applications such as GPS tracking and geofencing. We have about 12 licensed manufacturers from different industries and based in China and India. About 20,000 KPay-enabled devices are already on the field, and another 40,000 are in process of integration. KPay-enabled devices are currently deployed in West and East Africa and India. As we go ahead, we will see this geographic deployment getting more spread out amongst regions. We will also see a more even spread amongst types of devices and applications that are being integrated. These are the regions where we are currently active. KPay's customers are basically the manufacturers or OEMs. Our beachhead market has been Chinese manufacturers because they have been quick to adopt pay-as-you-go technologies, especially for the African markets. Going ahead, we also plan to add business development teams in user markets such as Africa to promote KPay amongst distributors. Asia is a key market for us, and we are targeting small and medium industries in a range of applications. We are now seeing customers reaching out to us, and there is also a good market pull. We are a seasoned group of founders with decades of work experience amongst us, as well as some qualifications from some of the best colleges in the world. Our primary revenues come from a service or subscription fee that we charge per device per year. Monetization of AI-based data analytics, credit ratings, and other value-added features will start making a significant contribution to future earnings. We expect to get to above 100,000 KPay-enabled devices next year and scale up to 4 million integrated devices within 5 years with a high EBITDA margin. As we scale up, the revenues go to the bottom line. Costs are low, it's an asset-light model, and the actual burn is relatively low. We will be soon hitting this growth inflection point where the pay-as-you-go and as-a-service business models will become mainstream and a standard offering by most companies for their products. our technology is going to be an enabler for this change. We have demonstrated a good product market fit. We are now getting repeat orders and are implementing this technology in multiple products and applications. So why Japan? Because we feel it's a huge industrial and technology hub. It has a great ecosystem for tech startups. We also feel that it will have access to investments and funding, and it is a gateway to the East Asian markets, which are very important to us as we go ahead, such as Korea and China, apart from Japan itself. I end with a bold statement that the future of consumption will be pay as you go. Thank you. Arigato gozaimashita. I'm now open to any questions that you may have.
Sure. Thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, so I have the question that so each places that implement your services, they need to have the hardware, right? So how the users pay?
Yes, so see, because our customers are usually the manufacturers, our firmware, it does not have to be hardware. It can just be a coding, which is called firmware, that is coded into the PCB of the hardware while they are manufacturing itself. So once our coding is in the product, then the payments can be done by customers anywhere in the world because we have integrated the local payment gateways in that country. So if we are in Japan, we will integrate with a local payment gateway to facilitate the payments.
I see.
Momo-san, I just have one observation. I think no, this can have a very good application in emerging and developing countries, like some of the even ASEAN countries in Asia and other countries. And it's not only the devices that he mentioned, but other niche devices that are in market, in Japanese market or in other markets. So I think the scale can be much wider and it can cover sizable population of emerging and developing countries for the devices being introduced in developed countries and by technology. I mean, companies which are using niche technology.
Yes, Mona ma'am. Just to add to that, like I said, we've identified two main target segments. One, of course, is the bottom of the pyramid or low-income groups in developing world because they can't afford to buy devices or productive use appliances. So the pay-as-you-go technology helps make it affordable. But on the other hand, in the developed world, like we are even seeing in Europe, the consumer trends are changing. People now don't want to pay for the product. They would rather pay for the service. Like even a Uber, is an example of that. People now take Uber and pay per kilometer of usage rather than buying a car. So like in Europe, Philips has launched Light as a service where they put up entire lighting systems at their cost and the customer only pays per lumen. Or Bosch has introduced washing as a service where washing machines
let me add one more service to this. During COVID waves, we have this oxygen machines. So even in Japan, I have seen that the companies, they offer that oxygen machine for the time they need or they get well. And then that is again used by other patients. They service it and use it for other patients. So there are many such products. And Momo-san, I see a good scope for backward and forward, both the linkages. So it's possible to connect a number of such other devices. So maybe a device is manufactured in Japan, can be marketed in other emerging and developing countries, including India. So I would like to know your thoughts also on this.
Okay, thank you. And first, Ravi, can you tell us again why your product is suitable for the developing country? Actually, you are targeting developing country, right? Yeah. Can you explain again? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So, our technology is basically, it's a technology that is hardware agnostic. So it can work in any powered device. So just like I said, even for things like home appliances or electric vehicles or EV charging infrastructure. So our technology is very much usable in developed markets also across a range of products and applications, because this as a service business model is especially becoming a big thing in developed markets. You have people say working in Fukuoka for 1 year and they may shift to Tokyo in after 1 year. So instead of carrying all their home appliances from one city to the other, they've taken their home appliances on a as a service business model using our technology. And once they leave the city, they give it back to the supplier and again take it on a pay-as-you-go basis in the next city. So this kind of applications are becoming very mainstream in the years ahead.
Can I understand that your product is suitable for the countryside in Japan, for example?
Sorry, for the?
Countryside in Japan, so your product is suitable.
I would say it's suitable for countryside as well as urban cities, because it's a technology that enables this as a service business model and can be used for any product. It can be used for home appliances, it can be used for farming equipment, it can be used for electric vehicles and even smart parking meters. In India, we've deployed it for a very unusual application such as smart public toilets. So, people coming to toilets scan a QR code. Our technology detects the payment and sends a signal to the toilet door to open automatically, so that there is no touch points and there is only digital payments. So this kind of applications can even be used in Japanese cities.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I guess Momo-san, even like nowadays, people even in Japan, they have they keep portable medical devices also whenever they are in need. So I think this can have applicability there also. Even some educational devices, the students may need that particular device during that particular year or academic year, and thereafter they may not need that. So I think everywhere this application has this can be applied.
Okay, and I'll make this into the two separate issues. First is a developing country, and because we had a global network. And for example, I understand that you are talking to somebody in Uganda, and we might be able to help you because we had a very good relationship with some Ugandan community, and also the Mongolia. Yeah, so maybe so we can introduce your product to the Mongolia. Okay, so for the developing anyway, so I'd like to have the separate meeting with you, but one part is developing country. So which country we can support you. Okay, so maybe the Uganda, Mongolia, we can try at least. Okay, for the Japan side, sorry, I need a little more clarifications so that we can talk in the next meeting. Is that okay?
Okay, it sounds good. I'll be happy to get into the details with you on a separate meeting to explain how it can function in Japan and for various different applications.
Please, and so first, for example, you said devices, okay? So we want to see these devices, how to work, okay? If you had a video, for example, or one just simple example, it will be very helpful.
Yes, I have videos of our various applications, which I can share with you.
All right, please.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's welcome the last presenter for today, XPay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Am I visible?
No.
Okay. Let me project my screen and see if that's coming through. Hold a second. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Wonderful. So if I might start, my name is Deepak Anand. I am the Chief Operating Officer of XPay Life Private Limited. I have with me Mr. Rohit Kumar, who is the founder and the CEO of XPay Life. So XPay Life is a company that's started off with a very clear mission. We are actually very avid travelers, and we travel the length and the breadth of the country to kind of understand that while financial inclusion has been a buzzword, the way that transactions can be energized in rural India is still a long way away from becoming a reality. And we decided to work towards this and create a platform based on blockchain to see how we can take transactions cheaply, securely, and very effectively to the various parts of the country. I use the term country very loosely at this point of time. We've created a platform that is works with various players in the ecosystem, whether be it in India at this point of time or anywhere on the globe that we want to kind of take this solution to. To give you a small idea of how the solution is structured at this point of time, in our geography within the country today has close to 4.5 million customers transacting on our platform through various digital modes. The uniqueness of the platform is that it connects a lot of stakeholders. We have a Bharat Bill Pay system in India, which connects over 70,000 odd billers of electricities, utilities, mobile prepaids, recharges, etc. And we've connected through them to various customers. We've connected various payment gateways on our system so that people can pay using any of the payment channels and payment modes that they choose to. And all this happens through a very strong API that we have built, and we give access to various players in to join this ecosystem and become a part of this entire platform itself. Our form factors are many. We believe in one very clear mode of a transaction, which is payment as a service. So we believe that the consumer should not have to bear the burden of having to pay for doing every single transaction, and the infrastructure that is being put in by every ecosystem member should be in such a way that the payment happens only as and when it is being utilized by each of the partners itself. I'll give you a small example of how and what all we use to get our partners to connect. We have the mobile apps, which is the Android or the iOS mobile app. We have a web-based program. We have very unique form factors like the touchscreen kiosks. We have a point of sale device, and the hero of company and of financial inclusion product is the mobile van that actually travels to the doorsteps of rural India. And this is something that we have been very proud of, and we've been highly recognized in various parts of our country for this. Our bill payment solution, which is one of our marquee solutions, works with close to 33,500 billers pan India. We've tied up with them on a common platform called the Bharat Bill Pay system, and we have a lot of tie-ups which are individualistic. Consumers, our 4.5 million consumers who come and transact on our mobile point of sale or the kiosk can come and do so completely safely and securely for any of these billers that are there. So you have electricity, prepaid, postpaid, various mobile platforms, water, utilities, etc., that can come and transact on this particular platform. To tell you about one of the success stories that we have, the mobile van is India's first multi-utility bill payment services. Now, this is a vehicle that does many things. It has an ATM in it. It has, you can actually go into this vehicle and enter your debit card or your credit card and withdraw money out of the ATM. You also have an ATP machine, which is an anytime payment machine, which through cash, and you heard it right, you can actually insert cash into these machines that will accept it. It'll convert this into digital money and do a transactions for paying any of your utility bills, or your various services that you want to kind of avail to on this particular machine. Apart from this, this is also a financial literacy vehicle, which means that as it travels to different parts of the country, the key facet of financial inclusion, which is making sure that people are made aware of what are the features of the inclusion that they are getting into, is transmitted to them. This is done through a public display system, which is a large screen TV that is mounted on the side of the van, or through a public addressing system, which is a loudspeaker that is connected to the van. As and when it travels, information, video, etc., is disseminated across this. In detail, what this basically also talks about is that it works as an office on wheels. Various officials from the banks can actually travel along with this vehicle in comfort, and the entire thing is running on clean and green energy. This is because it is the entire vehicle, the inside of the vehicle is powered by a clean solar panel that is mounted on the roof. It's connected to a UPS, which is able to run the vehicle's internals for over 9 to 10 hours, which is typically one working day, and can be plugged into any power socket for you to recharge and restart the entire activity the very next day. So clean, green, safe, secure energy transactions using this particular product. It's gained a lot of success in India. It's been, we're currently running in close to 20 states pan India. We have close to 100 of these vehicles that are in the nook and cranny of the country. And many more are soon coming into force. This year, in fact, we're looking at ramping up the volumes to close to 500 of these vehicles running in the various districts of our country. We actually started off our companies as a manufacturer, an OEM manufacturer of touchscreen kiosks. As early as 2007, 2008, we came out with our first touchscreen kiosk, which has now been accepted and has now been deployed in almost every single state of our country. We have, as per our last counting, close to 100 to 150,000 touchscreen kiosks pan India, some of which are owned and operated by ourselves, some of which are given to banks or to service providers to brand by themselves and deploy. One of the key success stories are, things like our boarding pass kiosks at various airports that we have. We have banking kiosks. We have kiosks which are put inside self-serve and safety and security information kiosks. Basically, any requirement that is required required by our customers, we are able to manufacture and supply because of the OEM strength that we have. Some of the types of kiosks that we talk about as a FinTech company are self-service kiosks, passbook printing kiosks, queue management, information, feedback management, cash deposit, accounting, opening kiosks, etc. This I will take as a very key initiative towards digital banking. As and when you move into digital banking, like Japan has, the Minna Bank that has gone a complete digital way. We've also enabled this by providing avenues like the digital kiosks, the touchscreen kiosks, and various other such programs. which can help the customers not even come into a bank branch, but be able to transact and do all the transactions that that a branch does remotely or through one of these unmanned kiosks that are available. We've been recognized by the government of India, by Startup India, in fact, and been able to garner quite a few awards, some of which are listed over here. We are extremely proud that the accolades that have come to us have been from people who have actually been working at rural India, and this is something that we hope to be able to continue in whichever part of the country that or the world that we actually want to go to. One of the key things that we concentrate upon is that we are not a hardware manufacturer. We are a technology service provider. We provide the technology, we provide the means with which we are able to connect platforms, connect players, regardless of which demographic, which geography that they are present in. Our uniqueness lies in interfacing through APIs, through various other platform players that are there, and that is very inherent in the 50 plus bank automations that we have done within the country at this point of time, and we are hoping to double this particular number and grow globally in the coming months to for us to see. That's it from my side, and I'd be more than happy to take questions from you as and when.
Hey, thank you very much for the presentation. You mentioned something about blockchain on the second slide. Could you
Yes.
tell us a bit more about that and your product and service?
Yeah, hi. Our the app and the web and basically the database. So we say that we are the India's first blockchain-based transaction framework company. That means we have used this hash coding technology to make our all the transaction, the utility bill payment or the recharge or any banking other technology transactions happen safely and securely through our platform. So that is where we have used this all blockchain only at a database level to keep the consumer data safe and secure. So that is specifically to the transaction level.
Thank you. Second question, have you or do you already have experience selling outside of India with your products and services, or are you generally local? Sorry, your screen
Japan,
is
especially the touchscreen kiosk, and in a different banking
Sorry, could you restart? The screen was frozen for a bit and we couldn't hear you.
Sorry. Sorry. So we are very happy to say that we have already provided lot of touchscreen based kiosk solution, transaction kiosk, a touchscreen kiosk, or a digital signage kiosk, or a safety training kiosk, or a different type of kiosk to Japan also. We have sold this touchscreen kiosk. We are selling this solution to more than 26 countries. Am I audible?
Yeah. So I thought, yeah, I got it. So you are sort of like a bank. It's like a mobile bank, right? And so it is used in India now. This car.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, can you repeat that one second? I think you're
This sort of the
froze
bank
for a second.
car payment car. So you already are using in India, right?
Yes. Yes.
How many cars?
You're talking about the digital cards?
Yeah, so you said this is bank, yeah. So the payment,
bank.
the meeting with this car.
Yeah.
I'm just talking this car.
So currently, Right.
Mhm.
So this is currently we have close to 100 vans running in India at this point of time. These are spread across 15 states and close to 50 to 55 different banks that we sell
In
these to.
in the city or the countryside?
Countryside, mainly through the countryside.
So I just so for my curiosity, so the India, okay, in the countryside, why they use this car? What is the reason?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, one of the key things that financial inclusion in India is a slightly different story. What happens here is that while there are two major problems. One is access to technology itself. Rural India, there is still a pretty high dearth of technology and technology products. And more importantly, there's a very large problem of financial literacy. So both these hamper digital banking to a very large extent in rural India. So what we have tried to do is, if you see the kiosks and the various form factors that we have in this vehicle, they are all in vernacular language. They are actually in the language that is running in that particular region, that countryside. It speaks the language that the common man is able to understand. And there is a person who travels along with the vehicle who will educate the customer how to do the transactions without him having to invest in a technology product, as simple as a mobile phone or a smartphone. So without even having to do that kind of an investment, they are able to do a host of banking activities and pay their bills and various other things.
Okay, great. So, so we had a feeling that the KPay and XPay is so for these companies for the Africa first, isn't it?
It's for in urban side as well as countryside. So both of them, yes.
Yeah, but I think the countryside is a priority, right?
No, absolutely yes. Urban has a lot of more options for you to kind of do payments through and banking through. Yeah, and we have apps. We have access to laptops, PCs, and various other form factors.
Okay. So
Urbans,
then,
yes.
Yeah, sorry, because today just by coincidences, but I used to live in Africa. Akiko used in Africa. We are the Africa experts. Okay, so that we can just remind our old friend, they talk to them. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thanks. Yep.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Then yeah, we'll communicate with the African organization and relevant organization. Then we'll get back to you.
All right.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So now we are done with all the programs except the closing remarks for Lulu.
Hi, again, thank you for your presentation and Mona-san. So we are always happy to see you, through the event. And before that, I have one question to Nikita. And so you are very active for the funding in India. My question is that where the money come from? From Indian company or from the abroad? This is my question, Nikita. Nikita, can you hear me? You're on mute.
Yes, now I can. Your voice was breaking actually.
So the funding.
Yes,
okay?
Could you kindly repeat that?
Yeah, and so the funding in the Indian startup are very active. My very simple question: where the money come from? From the India or from outside the country?
So we do have a large number of global investors as well. Even in unicorn startups, as we know, I think the initial few startups itself were through SoftBank, a large degree of that funding. So this includes both domestic and global investors, as well as global investors that have now placed themselves, within the Indian market and are looking at it as a priority.
Okay, I understand that.
Yes.
I think because so we are quite impressed that the Indian government is providing sort of funding as many company, also the international company. I think this is one of the characteristic point of the Indian startup community, and so in that sense, maybe the India is more advanced to Japan, and so. Actually, so you had a lot of startup quite mix and maybe the sort of low technology and advanced technology. We are happy to know that. And today, eventually, we talked to the two companies, and we had a feeling that we can connect to the Africa or the other country. So this is what we want to do that. So that, of
Absolutely.
course, the old company come to Japan or Fukuoka, that's perfect. But still, just please remember that we have the global network. Okay, so the through Fukuoka actually direction different. Yeah, first look east Japan, but maybe you can expand the market to the west. Okay, so the thank you Mona-san and Nikita and all the presentator and all the audiences. And now, so we are very honored to have a so close relationship with the Indian startup community and also the FinTech community. Okay, so that we will definitely repeat event maybe in the near future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mimi, for your closing remark. So before we close this event, I have one reminder. After this event, we'll send you the feedback form. So your feedback is very important for us to improve our online event. So we'd greatly appreciate if you your cooperation. So if you have any additional questions to Global Finance Center and Invest India, and also other like startups, please feel free to let us know in the feedback form. Thank you again for your time, and see you soon in the next event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.